Okay, part three. Yeah, I realized that I was too lazy to actually get into this that has something to do with masking. So I just stopped from there and I opened up my newest signature and my newest MBR profile, which I know both of them have masking in. So I'll be getting into detail and breaking down what I did exactly and how masking works and whatnot. So, this is my signature, and as you can see, if I could click any of this, is this clickable? Yeah, this is masked. Even the words themselves are masked. So what I did here was you have two things with a mask. The top layer is basically the shape of the mask, and the bottom layer is what's going to be affected. So it's basically think of a transparency essentially. Like think of like at school where your parent they had the overheads and they had the transparency and that like reflect over whatever you're working on not. But think of the top of the mask like that's a transparency. Whatever's underneath will show up through the mask. So I'm gonna go open a new document to show an example of that. So we're going to have a circle, right? We're gonna have let's make it a whatever. Doesn't really help much. Circle. We'll make it blue. And it doesn't matter what color the top part of the mask is because you won't even see it. So we'll have it a circle, right? And we'll hide that for now. And then under here we'll have hi. Make sure the letter spacing is still one. Hi Vash. There. I'll make this whatever. This actually matters, whatever color you want it. So now, as you see, the circle is clearly over the hi Vash. So what we'll do is we'll right click and make this a mask. Now we could perfectly see hi Vash. Nothing's happened. Now, if we unlock a layer, you still see it, but this is locked, and we move high out of the circle and unlock it again, all we see is Vash. And you could actually animate in this and have it scroll over and have high Vash go from like point A to point B. So for it to move this low, and then we'll lock the layers, and then we'll see high Vash just saying hi Vash. There. Now getting into this is basically this basics of masking. So for more advanced masking, or for more visual effects like, what we'll do is we'll need high bash back there. We'll have high bash, remove, move. What we'll do is now we want high bash to be on the circle, so we'll just simply replace, get rid of the mask, and put that high bash on top of the circle. Now, if I remember this correctly, you have to break apart the text, or else you get a square. If I'm correct. Oh no, you don't. There's some part where you have to break apart the text, and of course you'll get a square. So nope. Mask. So it's something like that. I'll get back into it. So let's go back to the signature. Now what I did here was pretty much this top layer is the text itself. And it's masking over this gradient, which gives it this gradient look, as you could see. And it gives you that gradient look, and you could do that with any text essentially. And now we'll go to the buttons layer. And I would get into menus, but menus are so long and like complicated to actually talk through and over, so I'm not really go into it. But this is the button. So this is how it looks. It's still null. It still has that gradient. As I said earlier, and then now it has a shine. Has a shine. Whatchamacallit? Oh, whatchamacallit? Yeah, one of those shine things. So basically, what I did was, the shine mask. I have the top layer as YouTube for the text name, and it's broken apart because if I didn't break it apart, that's what I was talking about. Whatever you had affecting here, it would pop up as the box for your text to write on. So what I did was I had a shine, and the shine's pretty much just a white line, just a regular white line, and I just gave it an add, a glow, and a blur. Simple as that, just the basics. And then I masked it and tweened it over. And now you get this shine effect every time you go over the movie clip. And since I didn't stop it, it repeats after a certain amount of time, so you know you're over it. And you can pretty much do this with anything, with any text, essentially. Um, I forewarn you, I know some of you guys like to blur. I don't know if you guys really know about blur, but blurring could be an asset and yet a fucking worst thing ever when you're animating, because depending on how big the image is when you're blurring is how much lag you'll get even without VCam. I did my experience with that, trust me. So now we'll get into um, more advanced masking with more than one things under the mask. So I think it's this one's my YouTube one. Yeah, let's go to this one. This is YouTube. I think it is, yeah. So these are all my masks, or being affected by the mask. And the visual mask is just this. It's a pink square that has an entrance and a exit. So the entrance starts here, and that's why it has stopped. So when the movie gets there, it stops. And everything under it is just aligned and set up for my mask. So these are just other key aspects. Like I have buttons over this. Like this is my button layer. It's over the mask. And it really doesn't matter where the mask is at. You could have buttons anywhere within the mask, but the mask just simply makes it that cool, oh hey, he's coming in, coming out type of thing. So that's pretty much masking. You could do it in animations. Like, hold on, let me open up another file I was just working on recently. It should not be finished. Here we go. So this is a quick little animation I was working on with my student, well, for my student essentially, and fucking Bash. Objective map, nothing really serious. Oh, hold on, let's get back. Now, I don't know if you guys could really clearly tell, but these, hold on, these are masks. And what I did was, I have a skill, a drain skill, and then I have the character trace bit mapped, or it shouldn't be, it should be trace bit mapped. I have the character over as a mask layer. So that's going to be the basically outline or the shape for the mask that's being affected within. And then at the last layer, I have the character again. Because essentially you won't be able to see the character, you'll just see the outline. If I masked it like that, see? You would only see the outline. So you need to have a bottom layer of the original thing you want to show up. And pretty much it just plays the animation in the mask. There's no mask there. And then there's another mask of how it's just an orb. That one orb. Yeah, that one more orb skill. About to sneeze. Oh god. I'm good. Anyways, yeah, but you can mask pretty much anything, but be wary of what you mask because essentially you have to think about when you're animating too, how big's the mask, what's being masked. Because I personally haven't experimented with anything too big with masking. Um, but masking is pretty fucking badass. Like, to make like these 3D ripple things in the background, I'll do it with the map right now. Goes back to this file, open up the map, and we're just gonna duplicate the map layer twice. Paste in place. Paste in place. Okay, paste frames. Okay, paste frames. Paste frames. Fuck yeah. And what we'll do is we'll have this layer be normal, and then like the second one, we size a little. And just move it down a little. And then we'll create a mask for the top one. Okay, play around with it. I know it's not gonna be perfect. And mask. And you kind of get like this dimensional bullshit going on. And then you could just easily, you could just tween the top mask. And then you'll get like this dimensional like ripple blur. As you could clearly see. You see like that weird blur thing. But yeah, control V all this. Okay, I'm moving into my MBR profile regarding mask. Fuck. You know, I won't show you individual characters. Which scene is it? No, it's the same scene. Holy shit. Do everything at one time like once. So it's not really a mask, but it's just everything animated movie clip. And the mask is pretty much the same thing. Just a pink line. It basically reveals Jesse's character. And everything's just animated around the mask. As you can see. And then this is another mask of that fancy glow thing you guys always love. Wario's Johor, and the glow is pretty much bigger for this one. And it just goes through the text. And yeah, so forth. I might include a masking tutorial or like some guide-ish in the endless thing. But yeah, that's pretty much masking.